All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're about to decode the ancient science of mantras together, but we're going to look at it through a completely different lens. Based directly on our source material, we're not treating this as mystical magic. Instead, we're exploring it as a highly structured, quasi-scientific system of energy manipulation. I want you to imagine ancient practitioners not as wizards, but actually as early engineers trying to hack the universe's energetic code. To see how this all connects, we're going to zoom way out to the cosmos and then zoom way, way in to our own bodies. We'll quickly hit cosmic consciousness, form versus formless worship, the body's switchboard, seed mantras, and finally wrap up with elements and energy. Let's get to it. Starting off with Section 1, Cosmic Consciousness and Infinite Energy. We've got to start big, like universe-sized big, looking at what the text calls Brahma Chitana. What I find absolutely fascinating here is how the source frames cosmic consciousness. It doesn't describe it as an abstract, human-like deity sitting up in the clouds. Not at all. It's framed as a literal physical phenomenon. Think of ocean currents or invisible radio waves and light frequencies just flowing all around us, layering over one another, but completely maintaining their own distinct existences. So just like we have different wavelengths of light, infrared, ultraviolet, the source tells us that deities actually represent very specific, targeted frequency waves. They are distinct energy currents meant for distinct purposes. When ancient texts mention a specific god or goddess, they're actually talking about tuning into a very specific cosmic frequency vibrating out there in the universe. Mind-blowing, right? Which brings us to Section 2, Form and Formless, and the concept of filtering energy. How do these ancient practitioners actually try to capture those cosmic frequencies? This text gives us such a brilliant technological analogy for worship. You've got sakar, which is worship with form, and nirakar, which is formless worship. Using a physical idol, that sakar approach is literally compared to using a piece of colored glass to filter out just one visible color from pure sunlight. Formless meditation, on the other hand, the nirakar approach, it's like turning on an X-ray machine to harness invisible, highly potent rays straight from the atmosphere. They're both just different tools used to isolate cosmic frequencies. But to pull this off, the practitioner has to be incredibly precise. The text uses this gorgeous analogy of a swan. According to myth, a swan can selectively drink only the milk out of a mixture of milk and water. A practitioner has to act exactly like that swan, carefully selecting and extracting the exact cosmic wave they need for their specific mantra out of this massive ocean of universal energy, and just leaving all the rest behind. But if the universe is out there broadcasting all these different waves and frequencies, where exactly is the receiver? That leads us to Section 3, the body's switchboard. Well, the receiver is you. The human body acts as the complex hardware for this whole system. According to the text, our anatomy contains specific energy centers known as chakras, thousands of subtle nerves called nadis, and exactly 108 uptiakas or subvalleys that are designated to receive totally different types of energies. It literally compares these physical points to an electrical switchboard. Think about it. If you want to turn on the light in your kitchen, you don't just randomly smack the wall, right? You have to know exactly which switch to press. It's the same here. When the correct physical switch, or chakra, is activated, the corresponding inner light turns on, linking you straight to that specific cosmic current. This introduces a really cool subfield mentioned in the text, called Bij Vigyan, or seed science. You can basically think of Bij Vigyan as the ultimate anatomical user manual for your body's switchboard. It's the exact science of knowing exactly where a frequency's connection point is physically located inside you, and the exact method required to press that switch. Moving right along to Section 4, the power of seed mantras. These are essentially our biological passwords. Let's zoom in on the specific seeds used to boot up this hardware. These bij or seed letters, sounds you might recognize like hreem, shreem, kleem, and aim, are described as massive, concentrated injections of power. You add them to standard mantras to completely supercharge them. The text even notes that practitioners will sometimes flip or reverse these seed syllables, like in the famous Gayatri or Mahamrityunjaya mantras, to deliberately alter the energetic output and effect of the practice. It's literally like hacking the code. So the big takeaway here is that chanting a mantra is not just mindlessly repeating words. Not at all. It's a highly structured, step-by-step technological process.
Step 1, you find the origin point, the correct seed. Step 2, you use that seed to press the corresponding physical switch or chakra in your body. And step 3, you establish a connection to the specific divine wave flowing through the cosmos.
The source compares this whole thing to dialing a telephone. If you want to talk to a specific person, you have to dial their exact number. You must use the precise seed location and energy to connect to the specific cosmic wave you're trying to reach. Dial the wrong number, you won't make the connection. It is that simple. Which brings us to our fifth and final section, elements and energy. Because we really have to ask a practical question here. What actually fuels this incredible biological machine? To answer that, the text points straight to Ayurveda. According to these principles, everything we consume has 3 distinct forms. Check out this breakdown. There's a gross or stool form, which builds our physical blood and flesh. Then there's a subtle or sukshma form that develops our intellect and mental focus. And finally, a causal or karan form that directly nourishes the soul. Basically, what you consume dictates the quality of energy your body produces at literally every level. So to successfully dial that cosmic telephone we just talked about, your everyday inputs have to perfectly match the specific element and objective of your practice. We're talking strict alignment here. Your diet, the clothes you wear, your lifestyle, the type of rosary you use, even the lamps and incense you burn. Every single thing has to align with the 3 gunas, Sat, Raj, and Tam, to tune your bodily receiver to the exact right frequency. The text insists that just like a hand-cranked machine needs human muscle to run, mantra success is 100% dependent on the physical and spiritual energy you produce to fuel it. Your body is the engine. Your lifestyle is the fuel. Without the right fuel, the machine simply isn't turning on. And I don't care how perfectly you pronounce the mantra. Gathering all of these specific elements is what actually guarantees you align with the universe. You absolutely need the right meter, the right deity frequency, the right seed, and the right physical element. You combine all of that with bodily purification techniques, things like Ayurveda's Panchakarma, and the source claims you essentially create an unstoppable biological receiver capable of drawing down raw cosmic power. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. These ancient texts view the human body as way more than just flesh and bone. They see it as the most advanced cosmic receiver ever built. So, based on the fuel you're consuming right now, the daily lifestyle choices you make, and the mental switches you press, what cosmic station is your bodily radio tuned to today? It's a pretty wild way to look at how we interact with the world around us. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the science of mantras. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.